with another episode of Bocchi the Rock. So in the last episode, we have our fourth and final member, Kita-chan, joining the band, and now they are gonna go play, right? Well, they haven't really said anything about what they're going to play, what songs they're gonna play, where they're gonna be playing at, or heck, what exactly is for the future of this band, right? I'm not gonna spoil anything. Like I said, I have read the manga before, so I do know what's coming up. But as usual, I'm not gonna spoil anything. And of course, to me, the thing that I'm looking forward to most is in an anime adaptation, right? In this sort of media form, can they actually roll out some, original music as well? Music that maybe was mentioned in the manga, but we can't really hear it. We can't listen to it. We don't really know their style, right? So hopefully that will translate well into the anime format. Well, let's just jump into the episode. Alright, let's begin in 3, 2, 1, play. Okay, that seems... like... Yeah, okay, I think... That was a nice riff. And actually, I really like the tone of her guitar. Uh, it's actually really hard to play and sing at the same time. Guitarra. Head banging. We actually never, I even don't really know whether Bocchi can sing or not. Okay. Yeah, that was nice. That was a nice little riff that she was playing at the beginning there. And that's typically what a vocal guitarist is supposed to do, right? There's very, very few vocal guitarists that can actually play even the lead parts and really, really complicated parts, if you will. I'm not saying that there aren't. I'm just saying that it's a bit, well, it's quite rare for that to happen. So theoretically, since this song is being, they say that it's being sang by Kisoku Band. So this is Kita-chan's singing voice? Honestly, I don't know. Right. So if you guys listen to the music in with a headphone or earbuds or whatnot, you'll know that they pan to the right and left channels. And if you listen to it, Bocchi-chan's guitar is in the right channel. She's playing the lead guitar here. All right. Like here, she has some sort of like a solo portion. Whereas in the left side, you have Kita-chan's guitar, which is more of the rhythm portion. Hmm? Yeah. Kesoku Band, and that is why they have the name Kisoku Band. that's about par for the course. Yeah. Would you guys mind doing anything more music oriented? Writing a song? Although, in all honesty, like when I looked at this in the first when I first read this, I was thinking, shouldn't it be reversed? Like we've seen. Well, actually, no, never mind. We've seen Bocchi do some ad libs before, right? Ah, I see. This is this episode. Okay. Perfected signature. Oh, procrastination, right? Another thing that people can relate to. I mentioned it. Do you even know what being a cheery person is? I actually don't really remember this from the manga, but okay. Her family's just like, she's completely gone off the deep end. I really love how the mom, the elder sister, and the younger sister all look so similar to each other. Hakoboon. Is that supposed to be a play on Kanaboon? Huh? Ah, okay, okay, okay. Photoshop. You probably should have warned her first, though. I mean, typically you'd want to coordinate your clothes and all that. I know, I guess for Bocchi it doesn't really matter. Hmm. Broke back. Huh, I do actually remember this part, but I didn't remember them actually going out on an outing to do this. Well, true though, true. Actually, you know what? I think that looks nice. That looks nice. I think you look like Bochi, and she always has that 1,000 yard stare to her. Oh, I didn't see her follower count. Look at her eyes. As years goes on, they become more and more lifeless. Although apparently that is something that's, obviously I come from like, I don't know if you guys know, but I'm actually quite a bit older and removed from my school days already. But I heard actually that, especially in Japan, like those in mid school and high school apparently basically start by uh trading Instagram accounts with each other. Rather than in the past asking, can I send a text message to you, or can I send a WhatsApp or Line, or one of those SNS messages to you. It's not even like Facebook or Twitter, or like MySpace, or those website, the blog thingies or whatnot. It's just clear out Instagram nowadays. Sorry for talking over this, but I mean, I feel like this is what would happen if I were friends with Boch in real life. I basically just ignore her. She's having her fit. We'll come back to her later. I feel like Bocchi has some really good Tsukomis. She really should speak up more. Like she was hoping for a yeah, but that's not Bocchi. But in all honesty, though, I feel like even I'm just thinking right now, like any real life bands, for example, having one member there that just looks dead, actually, you can surprisingly gain fans that way. Oh, oh, oh. Huh. That's how it happened. Okay, they actually go into a lot more details here than in the main, at least from what I remember, or maybe I just skimmed through this entire part. But I feel like I haven't really seen this part before. Actually, I thought huh? In the original setting, I thought they went to a family restaurant, but apparently it's in a cafe. This is so frustrating. Real's like, what are you doing, girl? Hmm? Yeah. She's a unique person. Oh. If you guys recall, she bought the 6-string bass off of Kita-chan. Honestly, Ro is cool. She is cool. I feel like this riff is playing off a famous riff. I can't quite put my finger on it, but dun, 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 dun. I'll have a listen to it at the end again. Kira-chan is jealous. Yay. No, but for real though, I do hope that they actually, make it into a song and sing it out. Or heck, maybe it might just be the opening and ending here, right? Look at that photo. Oh, oh, so heavy, so heavy. This girl. Uh, is it this song? Oh, I really like this. Oh, look, listen to that guitar. I also really loved how it started very bass focused. Kala kala. But you know what? This is what I want from this, right? This is what I want from this anime. Oh, I am so damn glad. Okay, I think it ended definitely not satisfying end now, but anyways, I will see you guys after this. Alright guys, that was episode 4 of Bocchi the Rock, and I have to say I am one very, very pleased fan right now. See, all I wanted was for them to not only bring these characters to life, but also more importantly, bring the music to life as well. Even though, I have to say, like, if we're going to be fair and honest about it, Bocchi the Rock in its manga form didn't really, even more so than the other music anime that I've been talking about on and on about, like K-On!, like Show by Rock, like Bandori. I have to say that Bocchi the Rock does not necessarily emphasize the music that much, even though I think the storyline itself lends itself nicely into creating music and creating lyrics as well. But I have to say, like, up to the point that I've read so far, it wasn't really all that focused on that part, right? I would say it's about, I guess, even more than half of it is just looking at Bocchi freaking out over the most mundane things. But I like it, right? And this is definitely, like I keep on saying, definitely a music genre is something that will be better in a anime adaptation rather than from its original form, right? It's one of the few genres where I will say that is probably universally true, and that is what we can see right there, right? We have another song by Keisuke Band, Karakara. I couldn't find the lyrics anywhere online, so I guess they're not out yet. But and that includes Japanese sites as well. But it is still written under, of course, under this pretext here that it is their song. Obviously they have outside writers writing all of this, and to my surprise, they actually don't just use like one single like one single producer and writing all the songs. In fact, and what they are doing here instead is that for all the three songs that we have so far, the opening, the first ending, the second ending, they've all been written by different people. And I guess it's sort of more like a collaborative effort here, something similar to I would say what was it, Carol and Tuesday, right? Something like that, where they though in that one they brought in artists from all various different genres, because the setting there allowed them to bring in all these different artists and all these different writers from various different genres. Here they are specifically looking for those who are I guess more band oriented, or female writers, basically. Though female writers for the lyrics, for the songs. At least from what I've seen so far, it has that kind of a trend. I mean, obviously there's only 3 songs. We can only say it's a trend once the 4th one comes out, right? But in any case, I do love how they are doing this, and compositionally and just as a song itself, I really love it as well. It definitely hits the sort of the J-rock vibe that I'm looking for, the sort of to be honest, like classic J-rock to me has always been more so like, I guess, what in the West would be considered more alternative. Not an alternative in the sense that like punk rock or like emo rock kind of alternative. But I guess more brooding in a way. It's they can go poppy as well, but I think the general tone of a lot of J-rock songs that I love follow this kind of formula a lot more, right? Where it's much more calmer, introspective, and whatnot. And it's a genre that I love very much, right? And that's why to me, whenever I encounter this kind of genre of anime, I always love to dive headfirst into it. And that includes for these female rock bands as well. Although even for female rock bands, I would say this one, a lot of them are actually quite bright in terms of how they generally sound. So this one, I would say, even follows more so towards that kind of mellow sort of feeling here, which kind of makes sense considering the episode at hand. Now, to be honest, my Japanese listening abilities isn't good enough that I can just instantly recognize everything that's being sung and do an instant translation. But I would like to believe that it's kind of similar to, and maybe it's a direct correlation to what they were talking about here, having a song that's much more mellow, much more, I guess, not so much focused on being the bright and uplifting kind of a feeling here. But actually that brings an interesting point as well, because they were talking here about how going commercial in Japanese rock band standards would be writing those kind of songs, right? Talking about seishun, talking about youth, being uplifting and whatnot. And they here Real calls it kind of like selling out, and I can get what she's saying here. Basically, she's saying, oh, if the market likes this and you write this kind of song, you're kind of selling out, right? But on the flip side, though, one of the reasons why I was drawn so much to the Japanese music market, and particularly J-rock in general, was because their lyrics, to me, it resonated with me a lot more than your classic topics that you will get from more Western classical bands. Like obviously this is a very broad generalization here, but I really love how in Japanese music, even though the sound and tone might be quite mellow, in fact it might be kind of sad in a way, but the message that's being put in there is always quite uplifting in a lot of ways. Whereas I feel like a lot of Western bands, they always fall back on either something to do with it's either heartbreak or some kind of abuse that they went through, or something like that. Basically, I feel like Japanese music has much more of a melancholic feeling to it, and that's something that I really like very much, both in terms of the music and in terms of the lyrics as well. So but yeah, as I said, it's kind of like a big generalization, and we probably shouldn't do that. But it's just what I've discovered for the most part, anyways, and that's why I time and time again been drawn towards the Japanese music market here. And it just kind of goes to show, right? Putting it into different perspectives and whatnot, you would have a completely different opinion of this. And like if you did grow up, or if you do exist in a market that's predominantly talking about love, talking about like alcohol abuse, drug abuse, or having abusive family, that kind of stuff, right? Or abusive relationship. If you go out from that, then obviously having this kind of lyric would be much more of a unique experience in the market, right? However, if you are in a market surrounded by this kind of stuff, then it wouldn't seem unique anymore, and instead you would be accused of selling out. Which, I think, but of course, what she's saying here isn't that these lyrics are necessarily bad. It's just that, do they really come from your heart, right? Do you truly believe in that? That's the main point here. So, don't get me wrong, like, I understand what she's trying to say here. I'm just saying that it's kind of ironic, considering, how, to me, this is, that topic itself is quite unique. But basically what Rio was saying is, be honest with yourself. If you don't believe it, you don't write it, or you're just faking it, right? Which is a standard that I can fully support. But yeah, unfortunately, we didn't really get to see, the extent of Bocchi's lyrics here, but maybe sometime in the future, maybe. Beyond that, what else did we touch on this episode? Now, obviously, the outing and whatnot. Again, I don't quite remember them going on this outing. Actually, I do remember them going on an outing, but was that the same time that they took the photo? I guess. I always was under the impression that they took their promotional photo somewhere near Starry, but whatever. It was nice seeing them on the road, hanging out and whatnot. And of course, Bocchi, as usual, is completely hilarious. I really do like their promotional photo, by the way. I do find it quite funny how they look like that. And the other one is when they all look like Rio and had her eyes as well. Those two photos are probably my favorites. So, once again, we have a Bocchi breakdown, and get used to it, guys. Get used to it, because it's definitely happening every single episode here. So, it is what it is. But beyond that, I think probably the most important thing from this episode, to come out from this episode, is, we get to see a little bit of the backstory behind Rio. We get to see what she feels about this situation, and dive a little bit deeper onto the formulation of the band and what exactly this band's goals are, right? Because bands are a dime a dozen. Like, let's be honest here. High school bands, all female high school bands, they are a dime a dozen. Like, the light music scene or the band music scene in Japan is really, really huge, right? Because I feel like it's kind of a little bit different from the Western kind of way of doing things, right? Where it's well, ultimately, it's the same. So see, in Japan and a lot of Asian countries, actually, the way that school operates is that you are always, you're always in the same classes, right? And then you have these sort of like after-school club events, clubs, basically, what they call circles. And so if you join these clubs, you would be kind of putting yourself out there into forming a band within those clubs and making and getting like-minded members into and just doing it from there, right? K-on's premise was like that, although in reality, in a lot of these sort of light music clubs in Japan and in the schools, they would number vastly more than just one band worth of people, right? There would probably be, I don't know, it kind of depends on the school, right? But definitely much more people than just like one band's worth. And then they would kind of like, it's kind of like expected, right? You join the light music club, you join the music club, and you're expected to form a band and and play some stuff, right? And people would join it because they want to play some stuff, and it just it's to have fun, right? But it's definitely nothing serious here. Whereas here, they've gone out of their way to really form a band even outside of their own schools, right? They actually come from two different schools, remember that. And so there's obviously something behind this, right? They don't want to be just another generic student JK band, if you will. A junior, a high school, all female band. They have something. They have some sort of goal, some sort of objective in mind. And here we see a little tiny bit of what that is supposed to be. And not to mention, and also the band name as well, Kesuku Band, which is literally a zip tie, right? It's a nice little play on words, because a band obviously is something that, like a rubber band, and then Kesuku Band. Band can also mean like a band as in a music band, and so it's kind of a play on words. So it's a really clever idea there, and obviously it has this feeling of unity, of togetherness as well. So that's also another important thing that we see here. That is that going to be important coming up later? Maybe not. Honestly, even as a manga reader, I don't know. I honestly don't know, but I do hope that it's going to be a little bit more deeper than just some cute girls doing cute things, right? So I have hopes for it. And yeah, I don't really want to go on too much else from here, but anyways, as always, I enjoyed them talking about some band things, like how do we promote ourselves, what kind of merch we do, and the prices were quite accurate as well, by the way. And heck, even real practicing guitar at the very beginning, you can clearly see her, you can clearly listen to her, and she's basically on the E string, right? And just playing some different position, you get the classic beginner riffs, if you will. So I guess I don't really think it's any specific kind of song, but that's because a lot of the so-called beginner riff songs, they operate on the E string, right? The very first string here, like Smoke on Water, for example, or heck, Iron Man. They all operate on that particular string, and you're just moving your fingers up and down. It's just to give you a little bit of of experience in terms of actually playing a riff, right? And even if it's repetitive or whatnot, but hey, she's supposed to be the vocal guitarist, so that she just needs to hold down the rhythm there, and heck, that's a good vibe in and of itself, right? A lot of people harp on rhythm guitarists for being, maybe not as sophisticated, or as I mean, obviously they don't play as complex parts as lead guitars with their solos and all that, right? But still, I would actually argue that in order to really vibe out to a song, the most people would probably relate more to what the rhythm guitarist is doing rather than the lead guitarist, right? And because the rhythm guitarist is in charge of the riff most of the time, anyways. So the iconic rock songs that you hear, they all are very heavy riff based, right? So. Anyways, I don't know what I'm trying to get at here, but obviously this is a fictional band, but I just want to say that don't just look down on rhythm guitarists because they are maybe not as skilled or play as complex parts as the lead guitarist counterparts, and they are quite important in their own right as well. Alright, I think wow, I talked a lot here, even though there wasn't really that much to talk about. Anyways, I'm not gonna bore you guys. I will see you guys next time as well. Stay tuned, and bye-bye.